economic component in there to some extent than there is an education component that, put together.
High school dropouts, only 3% cheated. Or so interesting kind of. Foods you should never eat before sex. And this made me laugh. Beans, it seems, over obvious here, but they're not. It's not the obvious, the farting component of this. It's the bloat, because they're super good for you, but they do kind of cause a lot of excitement as they're moving through. So it's the bloating thing.
Well, I would assume that would go for things like broccoli, cauliflower, and sauerkraut too.
Brussels sprouts.
Oh yeah, any cruciferous? Do I have that word right?
I don't know, but I'm impressed. 4 syllables. You win today. Red meat. That is on there.
Sorry. The fact that we are a nation of steakhouses belies that fact.
Well, and that's the big dinner. But
I drove past 1 million effing cows. Believe me. And these were beef cattle I'm driving past. Most of these were not dairy. Because I was surprised. So many baby cows. It was so cute. Okay.
Oh, very cute. And so the red meat is, takes so much more work to digest. It can make you tired and not frisky. Alcohol, which cracks me up. A lot of times you wouldn't be in the position to have sex had there not been alcohol, but they're saying it can make you sleepy and give you gas. I know. Colleen and I both turned and looked at each other with the same look on our face, like, what? Gas? I've never heard that.
We've had this list. Some of the stuff, it's come up before, and it's always fun to go through it to see if there's a new wrinkle. New. And there's the new wrinkle. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, we both did the same thing. That was hilarious. Okay, this is weird. Black licorice. It can lower the sex drive in both men and women, according to the New England Journal of Medicine.
Well, I hate black licorice, so
I know.
I will never know.
Yeah.
I do not understand that flavor. We'll never understand. And then any fake licorice or Twizzlers, it's beyond me. Then again, I had braces for years, so chewing on like that crap is not going to happen. But that hard black licorice,
I know. I know. It's disgusting.
And I know that some people just love it. That's fine because there are things I like that they wouldn't like, but like, I'm never gonna be testing that one.
Here's another one. Gum. Gum can give you gas. I did not know that.
Well, maybe because you're swallowing air.
It doesn't specify, but it said mouthwash works better if you're trying to freshen the breath. Cheese. According to recent reports, 75% of people in the world are lactose intolerant to some degree, and meaning it's harder to break down dairy, which gives you what? Gas. Bloating and diarrhea.
Yes. Oh yeah. It is. I don't eat too much cheese anymore. But you know what? Here's the deal. You have each person's different, and so you can try like sheep's milk or goat's milk cheese. A lot of times it's the type of milk that if it's a fresh cheese like mozzarella or cream or yogurt or cream cheese, regular milk, that's bad. But a really aged blue cheese or really aged manchego, a Spanish cheese, within reason, those are all perfectly fine. But like I said, every person who is lactose intolerant is a little bit different.
Oh yeah.
But because if I had to completely give up cheese, I would be a very sad Colleen.
Oh God, it would be.
Speaking, God, I love cheese.
I had a very large, delightful surprise when being solicited to sample something at a Whole Foods. It was goat Brie. And I have to tell you, it was as good as any Brie I have ever had, and it had a different flavor. It was fantastic, and I can't remember the brand, but if you go up, and they have such great people at their cheese counter. If you go up and say, "What's the best goat Brie you have?" I bet you'll find it. But oh my God, I'm just saying.
Yeah, I wander through. I find so if it's like over 4 months old for me, I will give it a shot. It's just so cheese.
So sex robots, nary a week goes by without those coming up because the popularity is increasing. Well, it's starting to take off in the UK now, and the sex robots have tripled new figures in Britain as of the latest. I'm guessing that's end of quarter one this year. And these are the hyper realistic dolls that we talk about often and freak us out completely. And they have one. They're a big dealer out there that sells the ones that are between $5,000 and $10,000. Those really really expensive ones. Silicon Sex World is the name of it, and they're trying to they've got the type of people that you've gone up against your entire career, Colleen, trying to say that this should not be allowed in the UK. There's a group of people trying to get
to say that someone can't have a fancy sex doll. People are, it's masturbation with a very expensive toy. I know that some people put feelings or this or that, but they're not out annoying the rest of the population, so let them have the toy.
Right. I know. Funny article. 8 things women do that are instant turnoffs. So I thought this was a fun list. Topping the list, and this was an anecdote.
Farting. Sorry, we just talked.
No, it did not make.
There was a lot of farting.
There's a lot of farting talk. Mm-hmm. Actually, this was based on a Reddit thread.
Okay.
And so hundreds of men compiled, the following. Number 1 response was smoking. Big turnoff.
There's not too many people that smoke anymore.
I know.
It was really weird walking into the casino in Vegas, and there's just being this vague smoke smell.
Yeah.
I mean, but when I been to casinos when they were still regular, most people smoked, and from the ankles up was a smoke cloud. It's not that anymore. But there was this smell, and I understand the addiction, but how anyone in this day and age could pick up a cigarette and just deal with the stench of it blows my mind.
Well, and I have a thing. I have a really negative reaction to cigarette smoke. I cannot stand it. Mm-hmm. And the biggest reason is because everybody in my family smoked. My parents, my older brother, and my sister. And I grew up at a time, and I never have smoked, ever.
And the cars? The nicotine. Yeah, the nicotine that you could make finger paintings in on the window.
And I was constantly trapped, and everybody's like, well, I smoke. And, it's like I was the problem. And now, if I smell a hint of it, it enrages me. It's like, get that away from me. Get that away from me. I hate it. So
I still have some, folks that work for me that smoke, and I'm like, okay, just can you take your jacket off before you come in my office? Try sometimes because I can smell it.
It's amazing. What's amazing is when you're driving somewhere on a residential street and you can smell it if a car that's not smoking goes by you.
I smell the car in front of. Yeah, that's how much I can.
Me too. I'm the same way. Okay, number 2. Back to the list. Sorry. Feet. And all it says is, while many men have a foot fetish, it can be a turnoff for some. I'm assuming that's skanky feet, so get a petty. Number 3, someone lacking ambition.
Oh, well, they don't want to be the soul. I mean, it's 2017. You shouldn't be. They don't want to be responsible for everything.
Well, I like what this one guy wrote. Write music, research biology, play soccer. Just do something to make yourself interesting. I thought that was funny. Bad teeth. Enough said. Mm-hmm. Next one, bad breath. Kind of follows with bad teeth. Gas is not on the list, I remind you. Mm-hmm. I thought this was interesting. Women with short hair. How does that work? And they said clearly this one's subjective. Grammatical errors in speaking or writing.
Oh, I can see that depending on what's going through there, because it really does. It probably tied in with the find yourself something interesting sort of deal. Well, it belies a certain lack of and I butcher language pretty good. It's hysterical.
Pretty well.
So,
no.
That's what I'm saying.
It.
Yeah,
I left
so I'm saying I do stuff, But earlier today I used is instead of are, and it came, when I was speaking, and it popped out of my face, and I go, that's wrong. Even my own brain clenched up on itself. But I'm
so different.
I'm a type of person that sort of thinks out loud, because some things sound good in your brain and then it comes out in speech. You go, oh no, 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 no.
That was so wrong.
That was very bad. But I'll do that. But I mean, will you borrow me a pencil and a few things? If folks had, I know that they're getting a, but and certain. There are certain ones that I've grown up with that I can't seem to let go of, but more modern changes in language I'm getting better at. Mm-hmm. But some things are just, I don't know, maybe it must have been a teacher I don't remember that really, got that into me or something, drilled that into me.
Yeah.
But like I said, there's 4 or 5 things that drive me insane, and more modern stuff, I like it, whatever.
Yeah, no, I mean, and I really think that there's varying degrees of grammatical sin out there. Mm-hmm. And what you just described that you did, I mean, everybody kind of makes a flub and goes, that just didn't come out right, but I'm not going to redo the sentence verbally, so let's move on. And that's fine. But it drives me crazy when somebody how can you not know the difference between seen and saw? Mm-hmm. I mean, like, seriously, it's 2017. And, that just blows my mind. It makes me nuts. And I have a hard time, I'm going to own it, not judging that person for it. It's like, hello.
Yeah, I mean, with voice to text now, too, they can't sometimes decide which there is right.
Oh, that.
So like I said, that's where like more money, but if I'm looking at something that someone has written out and supposedly proofread or did something and it's wrong, well, I judge.
Yeah, me too. Mm-hmm. The last one on the list that makes women unattractive, according to this article, is when she doesn't like reading.
Well, I would say that 3 out of about half of those are all put together.
You mean, yeah. The same thing.
Being interesting, reading, stuff like that. They're sort of all tied together. Because not everything, I mean, if you're dyslexic, that's fine. It's hard to read. But other than that.
They get a pass, yeah.
They get a pass. But you should be able to want to skim a newspaper or, because if you don't want to read, that means you don't want to learn.
Well, I think that's the thing. Mm-hmm. My family, I come from.
You could just put guy and you could just switch that. I'm sure.
Oh, I'm sure. Mm-hmm. I come from a family that we all have this little disease where if we get into a book, our life stops until we finish the book. Practically, it's like we have no self-control.
If I've got a book, my daughter's like, Mom. I said, poke me. For her, it might be she doesn't hear me with her earbuds in. If I've got something in front of me and I'm reading it.
Nothing else exists. Yeah. Mm-mm. There's just something about, I just absolutely love it. And I wish I could do more, quite honestly. So normally when we talk about Florida here on the Great Northern Sexcast, Colleen, it's usually something really preposterous involving an arrest and nudity, heights, things like that. Or, water vehicle, but nudity is always in there. Or in sex with inanimate objects. Unfortunately today, this is a very serious one. And I'm really glad that these people are caught, but oh my God, they busted a human trafficking ring spanning across 2 counties in South Florida. They've got 3 men in jail, and there's one woman who said she was forced to have sex with 120 men per week inside a trailer. And they would move her to different locations, and it's so gross. I can't even get my head around it.
Do you suppose that some of the techniques and stuff that were used here, that they're getting better at locating? Because one was just busted here.
Yeah.
About every month you hear about something. So there must be something that really there's got to be some really good investigations going on, because you're hearing, you hear about stuff just because of the media nowadays. Knowledge is out there and you hear about stuff going on.
Yeah.
But these are getting more, getting busted. And I certainly hope that they, found, the 120 guys, because
the Johns.
You've got these 3 guys, those 3 guys can be replaced, but you need to work on, the other part. Explaining what's going on. But I just one busted here in Minnesota, another one busted in Florida. You're hearing about the trafficking rings, and sometimes it's not sex, sometimes it's the different businesses and stuff going on. But they're getting pretty good. Must be getting, I should say better at figuring this out, how to do it.
And I noticed that a lot of the stories about this, and I'm fine with the fact that they're not saying how they caught him, because I don't want the bad guys to get on to what they're doing. I want them to get caught. But, this particular group of victims was comprised primarily of women from Costa Rica, Colombia, and the Dominican Republic. And without, talking about building walls or whatever, when you talk about immigration reform, here's what I want to do. And I want them... our government to make it easier. Like, if you look at how hard it is to, get into our country with a legal visa, but the path to citizenship makes no sense to me.
No.
Some people they get it really easily. Other people, I've heard of people taking 10, 15, 20 years. That's ridiculous. If you have gotten here, we need to clear the path to citizenship for people so that they're not scared.
Yeah. The thing is that we need the folks. Honestly, if the whatever millions of people disappeared, this country would not function.
I know.
And, and it's not, it's fairly obvious and but they're just, and if you're going to bust your ass to get here,
Yeah.
Yeah. And everyone did. And it's very frustrating that somehow it's become an us them thing and it shouldn't be.
And I think it would, I honestly think
exploitation.
Well, right. That's where I'm going with it, keeping people from being exploited because they're afraid. But I think that this argument is so preposterous, or the two sides on this are so crazy.